Hey everyone, today is May 14th, 2023. It is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. We are now arriving at this swamp, and the good news is it looks pretty low. It's not as high as the first time we discovered this area. Look at this, the trees still have yet to get all their leaves, which is very interesting. We already passed through some areas of Massachusetts today that had a full amount of leaves. Right now it's 79 degrees outside. The top temperature we saw today was 82. We're gonna get out right now and inspect this pipe. There's probably gonna be a little bit of a blockage, so we'll get on out with the big high boots and the rake if we determine there is so. All right, everyone, we just stepped out of the vehicle. Nice and shady this time, now that the trees are starting to grow their leaves. Let's go take a look. Water levels are not as high as the first time we've come. And look at this. Pretty soon this area is going to be nice and pretty. I see some of the lily pad flowers about to come out. I see a good amount of slime, but the algae blooms that we saw last time clogging it up are just about past this time of year. Sorry about the wind, can't do too much about that. Wow, look at the amount of poison ivy I'm walking through. All over the place. Maybe that's what scares the DOT away from doing the job. Now, I don't get poison ivy, thankfully, but supposedly the more contact you have with it, you can lose your tolerance to it. Yeah, look at that. There's poison ivy all the way through this. And yeah, there is a big blockage again, so we're gonna go get geared up. And you can see all the slime right here is just coming and adding to it. So yeah. Got a good blockage down there. Yeah, so this time there is an abundance of poison ivy. And what are those? Is this thing about to flower? I didn't know poison ivy flowered. Ton of that stuff down inside here. It's growing up parts of the structure. It's all over the edge of the road, this poison ivy. Check it out. All over it. Both sides of the road too. I see it over there everywhere too. Last time we were out here, didn't really notice it because it didn't have any leaves on it. This right here looks like it might be active beavers. I mentioned last time we were here, there's also a trail going down there. Combination of beavers and fishermen probably. But the blockage is less now. There's no more spring thaw. There hasn't been rain in a while. Pretty cool. Right here, these are some flowers I picked from my property. Up in Maine, we're not that far yet with the season, so it's limited what we have. And there's a pretty cool vase. It says made in Japan on it. See the bird right there? I think I found that free on the side of the road at some point. And I got this strawberry plant right here. See, it's got an actual pretty big one about ready to eat. So those are a couple of things I'm bringing down for Mother's Day today. Where I am, we can't even start planting or keeping anything out in the yard yet, just because we're still getting some deep freezes up in Maine. But today, I'm about to go to Home Depot when I'm done here, buy some of those wooden whiskey barrels and some tomato plants, set up a little barrel garden for my mom. Yeah, this side of the road also has a lot of poison ivy, especially around the pipe area. The water on this end is deeper than last time. The beavers might have a dam at the end of this swamp, but this side won't affect the road nearly anytime soon. So we're just gonna set up camera number 2. Yeah, this is very deep. We weren't walking in water last time. Yeah, last time we were out here inspecting this one, those pipes were also pouring down into the water. Not this time. This time we have, oh, there's water beetles. Yeah, this time it's actually backed up a few, maybe half a foot into the pipe. Last time it was pouring down quite a bunch. All right, everyone, camera number 2 is going. We don't have to go woo this time. If you hear me do that in videos, that's usually for camera alignment. This is a beaver trail, them going across the road. Covered in poison ivy, this area. That'll scare most people away from this job. Then we'll take a walk down there. There's one more pipe. Wind is picking up. Hopefully you can still hear everything I'm saying. All right, we're about to get down in the water here. The water on this side is not as deep as the first time we discovered it. And this is a pretty easy job to do. Let's set up the camera. So, maybe today when we go walking down the other way, we might even see some frogs, which will be pretty exciting. Just setting up here. I always set up 2 legs like this in the deeper water, making sure, yep, it went down and hit some stable bottom. Don't ever want to set the camera up in the mud because it will sink on you. I'm pulling out the 3rd leg on the tripod right now, making sure it gets solid bottom. That's more shallow, and we're ready to go on in. And yes, you guys probably saw a while back I ruined my bright green pants, but I just had to find another pair. Unfortunately, they seem to be only golfing pants, so they're not very thick. I'll probably rip them again at some point anyways. Wow, look at the poison ivy. All right. This should go nice and simple now that we know the best way of doing it. Wow! Look at all that slop. Ooh, the beavers definitely were involved this time. They jammed a couple sticks down into the mud as reinforcement. Back down. Clear the other side. This is always the heavy side. 1, 2, 3. Yep, beavers, that's so fresh. All clear until next time. These are very heavy posts. These are like the kind of posts they would put signs on back in the 60s or something. Now these days they got thin, cheaper poles so it doesn't kill you if you drive through it. But these are very heavy poles. It just leans against here so this doesn't fall over. Wow, we create such an undertow. It's moving the mud. Hopefully that doesn't clog it up super fast again. Yeah, we got beavers here. Definitely. Look at all this slime. Wow. There's like big blobs of it, and you pick it up, it just melts like cotton candy in water. They look big, these blobs, if you're able to see. You try to pick them up, it's nothing. It's nothing. We got that flowing really good again. I wonder what the other side looks like. I just pulled my tripod legs out of the water, and it sucked up a whole bunch of yellow pollen stuck all over the black paint. Wow, I can already see a big blast. So the water on the other side, despite less flow, because of it's not spring thaw, it hasn't been raining, there's gotta be a big beaver dam down there somewhere, making it back up. But the DOT honestly is not really gonna care unless it starts backing up to the road, and they got down there the lowest spot at least 3 feet of elevation, and I don't think the beavers will do that for quite some time. Look at that. Here's what it looked like before. And here's what it looks like after. Pretty nice. Big difference. So I gotta stop when I come here. Stop going through there, the deep area. The first time we came here it worked. Second time it worked. But now that it's flooded, we'll just use the beavers trail right here that they're obviously using to get back and forth over the road. All right, camera number 2 is gonna go off. Big difference. Here's what it looked like before. And here's what it looks like after. Now let's go check the other pipe down the road. All right, everyone, we're walking down the road towards the other pipe. You see where the road is slipping? The edge of the road completely slid away. Guardrails in soft mud. That's because this water was up and touching the edge of the road the first time we discovered it. Here's the other pipe. See where all this debris is starting to build up. Maybe we'll even see some frogs. I do not expect this one to be clogged. Since the pipe is underwater, all the debris just stays floating over the top. Since there's not enough current or a whirlpool to make it come down. Here's the water coming out the other side. Flowing pretty good. I don't expect a problem. You can also see a good amount of debris right there that was allowed to pass through. Unfortunately, turtles are getting hit by cars. We saw that last time also. What do you call those really colorful birds? There's at least a dozen of them flying around. They got bright orange on them. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna have to say oriole. I'm thinking oriole. I used to have a stuffed animal of one of them that made their noise. All right, so the pipe's on the other side of the road here. Remember last time we were actually able to stand on top of it. Here it is. Yep, that's the pipe. Where's the end? Ooh, we actually touched something. Maybe there is a little bit of a blockage this time. Or is it a snapping turtle? Nope. Yeah, there's barely anything in there. There's just this one stick crossing it, but that's how it starts. Yeah, that's completely clear. Everything floating here is floating. It's not actually getting sucked in there. Hey, before we take off, I just want to take a little walk right there. Last time there was actually turtles sitting on the log, or maybe that was 2 visits ago. Right here you can see a little bit of water flowing because there is no other culvert. Everything from here has to come down through that little cut. Last time there was turtles. I'm not seeing anything this time, but they're definitely active. Look at all the lily pads. Give it another week or so, there's gonna be so many flowers coming off them. Lily pad flowers all over the place. You can still see the deadness of where the water was. It was only inches below the road. Now it's got like 18 inches, which is good. I can definitely see evidence of frost heaving. First time we came, it was potentially going over the road the way the grass was pushed over. So that log right there and over there is where the turtles were. Don't see any this time, so we're gonna go and turn around. There's one more little swamp around here I like to check. Don't expect an issue though. There was never an issue the last couple visits. It was just interesting seeing how much slime actually got attracted over to the pipe. I like to see everything turning green. It looks like the oak trees over there may have suffered damage from the gypsy moth caterpillars. Those are not going to become full. It looks like they're half dead. I got some older videos if you're interested in what the gypsy moth caterpillars actually do. The whole base of a tree can be crawling with them. You never have seen that many before. Ah, wow. I remember they were all over the train tracks at one point, to the point they said in Boston the trains were having trouble stopping because it was acting as a lubricant on the tracks. And one time I was in Palmer, Massachusetts in June, and it looked like the middle of winter. They ate everything, even the pine trees.
What are you guys measuring?
We're unclogging the culvert pipe right there. It gets jammed up every couple weeks or so.
Oh, cool. It's amazing. They must have built this road and built it up, right? Because there was always a pond, I'm thinking.
Yes, definitely, and the beavers caused it to flood over. But if you want to check out what we're doing, we have a YouTube channel, Post 10.
I will.
Thank you. All right, I was going on about the gypsy moths. They were so invasive that when they're done eating their favorite trees, which are oak and maple typically, they'll eat everything. Then they'll go on to white pine trees, eat the needles, but they're kind of stupid. Or maybe the needle just can't support the weight of the caterpillar. So what happens is they bite the end of the long needle on the pine tree and it just falls to the ground. You find like a carpet on the ground because they only take one bite. And pine trees are usually dead the first defoliation. They can't survive a couple years like the leafy trees that can just regenerate. They were even so desperate that year in Palmer, they were eating people's lawns. But they come and go in big surges. Haven't seen a problem like that in a while. I just brought it up because I think that's what that damage I'm seeing is. Also, I just killed a whole ton of tent caterpillars I found on my property before they left the nest. Because they stay in this giant, it looks like a spider web, until they're a little bit bigger, which is a good thing because you can catch them and kill them pretty easily. What you're seeing right next to me, see these holes in this tree? That might be the Asian longhorn beetle. Massachusetts does have a problem with that. Is that toothpaste still? Back in the car. Not used to this heat. Our high temperatures where I live today are only in the 60s. Tonight is actually going to be pretty frosty. We're supposed to get down to 32, so I just covered all my plants for the couple days. They can live a couple days without sunlight. The only things I put in the yard so far were I bought a blackberry plant. I think it would probably survive anyways because it's native and the native ones already grew. But it's a colder year than normal, I would say. Winter was warmer than normal, but this spring is colder than normal. All the hostas came up and they're all black now, the leaves. We got a pretty hard frost, but I think they're gonna come back after a little bit. Tuesday, we're supposed to get down to 28 again. Yep, technically where I live, the growing season doesn't start until June, so it's a good thing I didn't get tricked by the warmer last week and start putting things out. But this time of year, you can cover with bed sheets, and that'll actually protect them because it doesn't get that cold anymore. Here's our other location. This area is very low-lying with the swamp. Oh, it's all grown over with duckweed and stuff. Nah, there's not a problem there. We're good. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day. Wow, the trees are green around this corner. That's what I love about traveling this time of year. The elevation really does a lot. You can be driving, barely any leaves, suddenly you go into an area, the trees might be a different type, you might be a little lower elevation, where it's warmer, they are just blooming like crazy. Like you see some trees are barely along, but other ones are pretty full. Like I said, it does look like this area has sustained caterpillar damage in the past. Thanks for watching, everybody.